There.
Supporting Young Bakery. Cheers.
Oh my God, cheers.
Yay.
Wow. This is my beautiful friend, Lisa.
Thanks, Morgan.
Oh my God.
We're doing it.
We're doing it. Oh my God.
How do you feel right now? Should we just make intense eye contact at who's ever watching right now?
Yeah.
Maybe 3 people who will watch this.
Make him feel really uncomfortable or really comfortable, depending who you are.
That's good.
That was good. I felt that. I felt that deeply.
Morgan, what inspired you to try this podcast?
Gosh, it's me turning 30.
Yeah.
And I just want to do things that I've wanted to do without putting boundaries on it. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do a podcast.
It's never too late.
No.
And there is something about reaching a new decade that makes you realize, oh, I'm not getting any younger.
No, the 20s are almost gone.
I need to channel that energy for getting back into stand-up because I didn't do it once last year.
Yeah.
And the longer I go not doing it for a while, I get more and more scared. And I saw there's this content creator who she recently tried stand-up for the first time. And her caption was along the lines of, oh, and then I woke up and realized life's just a simulation, so why the fuck not? And she went and did stand-up. I was like, I need to channel that. I don't think life's a simulation, but I do want to channel that level of beautifully not caring.
Yeah. What's something you're really wanting to push for this year?
There's a few things. Getting more involved in film. And actually, I'm really immensely grateful that in January already, I got to direct my first short film.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I can't wait to watch it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
It happened so fast because my contract ended with my 9 to 5. And so I was pretty wide open and contacted my friend Holly. I was like, hey, I know you're involved in like every film ever that happens in Minnesota. Do you know anyone who needs help? And thinking I would just be like a PA because I've only been in front of the camera when it comes to being on set, unless you count advertising where like as an account supervisor, I was the liaison between the client and creative team, but those are like big, massive budgets. But in terms of like scrappy independent filmmaking, have only ever been an actor. And so I was like, oh, I'll just be a little bottom of the totem pole PA. I'm happy to run coffee, do whatever.
Yeah.
And they go, yeah, we're looking for a director.
Me? I'm here.
That's like the poli-sci intern graduating and being like, do you want to be president? So yeah, it was fun. And it was, from my experience, a unique situation where the writer and creator isn't the director, because typically just, at least in this film community in Minnesota, that seems to be the case. They kind of go hand in hand. So it was kind of a unique thing, like pinch hitting as director. And so I actually agreed to it before I even saw the script or even knew the date we were shooting. I just said yes.
Yeah.
So that in itself was fun. Just say yes. Don't overthink it. And, you know, it could be the world's worst script and the world's worst team, but at least you said yes.
Yeah.
And it wound up being a very lovely team. One thing I've learned about this community is like there's just so many talented people who are passionate and so sweet. Like I cannot tell you how many sizes my heart blew up just like getting to work with the team that I did. And the writer was really receptive too to like some feedback I had about the script. Listen, I grew up with 2 older brothers and a dad who, let's just say I was 9 when I first watched Pulp Fiction. So I don't really have almost an adverse reaction to things that feel too sentimental or overly tender or like if they give any ounce of like I also with my mom was always watching Hallmark movies, and I think developed like a intolerance to that. So I think I was maybe overly like hard on the script at first because I was like, that's too happy, that's too feel good, that's too on the nose. And so the writer was really receptive to just talking about ways that we could maybe like unpolish it a bit and make it feel slightly more real and raw. It was talking about mental health and depression in particular. She was really receptive to that. And, you know, it still has like a feel good tone to it, but sorry.
Beautiful.
Tee.
Cutesy.
Oh my gosh. Sorry. If I had sparkling water, I would have been doing that the whole time. But yeah, she was really receptive to it. And then we had a week to put the whole thing together. Like I think I said yes on a Sunday or Monday, and we were shooting by the next weekend.
Wow.
And now I owe a review of the edit. And
Oh my gosh.
yeah,
Things are moving.
things are moving. It's for Z-Fest. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So things need to be moving.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
due by the end of the month.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was exciting. And
For people who don't know what Z-Fest is,
yes, it's a local film festival.
here in Minneapolis.
Fun fact, the Z does not stand for zombie. The first time I ever was approached, it was actually by my friend who's a well-established commercial filmmaker, director. He first contacted me and said, "Do you have any ideas for Z-Fest?" He reached out in October, and it's called Z-Fest. So my little brain was like,
I see where you went there. Yep.
it's a zombie festival, as if the month he's talking to me had anything to do with when this.
It could have.
It's the connection my brain made. So I gave him like 6 or 7 ideas that had to do with zombies.
Valid.
I definitely came up with a Kardashian zombie idea. I could maybe find it in my phone, but and here's the thing: I actually don't like horror films. I don't watch scary stuff. I don't really mess with stuff that feels kind of demonic or heavy.
Yeah.
And I don't really like gore. For me, it's an opportunity cost.
Yeah.
Why see something gory and gross and like creepy when I could watch something that is like based on a true story or empowering or a comedy or clever, dramatic, whatever. Anyways, for me, it's a trade-off. All that to say, I don't even like that world. And he was like, "Wow, you really like zombies, huh?" I was like, "What? No, but it's Z-Fest, right?" And he was like, "What are you talking about?" So Z-Fest is not zombie festival. It's
Good to know. Good to know.
these films screen in May.
Nice.
If you had to pick one month, that's the opposite of
Could
Halloween.
have been M-Fest. You know, that would have helped.
You know, it really would have.
So what does the Z stand for? Do we know? Do we know?
I actually don't know. I asked someone that, and I don't know. I don't think they knew, and I've just never gotten around to Googling it. Yeah. But whoever created it, thank you for providing the opportunity in our film community here.
Nice. And when is it? May?
May. Yep.
May.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Do you know where it's happening? We could plug it right now. To the 3 people that are watching.
no. But let's put some text overlay after we get the chance.
Yep. This is
right
it.
around here.
This is it. Show up.
Yeah.
Pull up.
Be there or be square.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, I just got a haircut.
That's good.
I haven't gotten a haircut in like 7 years.
Really?
Yeah, I just let it be.
How many inches did you get cut off?
Not a lot because I got a perm and it kind of like killed my hair.
Oh.
So it was growing, but then I personally kept chopping off all the dead ends, but I haven't gotten like professionally cut
Got it.
in
Got it.
7 years.
It looks like there's some good layers in there.
Yeah,
Big fan.
I asked for a wolf cut.
Oh,
I just
yeah.
wanted it basically all the lengths, like
Yes.
all the different like things.
Yes.
Very like I could just throw a bunch of product in there and go like
Yes.
this and be like, okay, cool, it looks
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, I actually speaking of like receiving and like feelings and patterns, I really hate having one length hair.
Yeah.
I don't know, you'd think it would be the opposite, but it actually soothes me to have many layers. Cuz it's like
because then it doesn't have to be perfect.
yeah.
Because if you have just like all the same length of hair, you have to have it like perfect, or it's like, oh my gosh, this looks like out of place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've not necessarily thick hair, but I have the Evanson big head. So I just have a lot of surface area for which hair to grow. So I have a lot of hair.
Yeah.
And it's naturally stick straight. So it's just like, it's just heavy a lot
Yeah.
of the time. And when it's straight, it just looks
Yeah.
dull and boring. And
Yeah. Are you naturally a redhead?
I wish. Girl, when I tell you I have never received so many regular, weekly, sometimes daily compliments on my hair. from
Really?
strangers and loved ones alike ever since going this color.
Wow. It's a beautiful color on you.
Thank you.
Your eyes, like
Thank you.
men out there, the eyes.
Thank you.
Speaking of men,
Oh.
do we have men in our life? Or a man?
Ooh. Oh, good thing these are full of tea.
Oh, hold on. Let's get a good sip.
Pinky up.
All right.
There's a few.
Let's go.
We are on a first date spree at the moment.
That's amazing.
So what happened was there was someone I was seeing who I was really excited about. We had a few dates, but they were really long dates.
Okay.
So if you looked at it from an hour's perspective, it was like we've had 10 dates, which felt like the equivalent of much longer. So I would say like feelings were growing quicker than usual because I usually take a very long time to like really like someone.
Yeah, same.
Yes, which usually seems counterintuitive to how I come off because I'm like textbook extrovert and I love getting to know people.
Sometimes I get extra grabby. Like if I think they're good, I'm like, oh my God, please stay.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's the complete opposite as you're saying, where I'm like, okay, let's take
Yeah.
some time. I don't know if I really like you. I don't know if I trust you.
Yeah, I'm a little bit skittish, I would say. Yeah, you got to look for consistency, but I think that's healthy. I was just I wish I was watching a clip yesterday that was saying, be careful about projecting positive thoughts.
Oh, okay.
So often we talk about projecting negative things onto people, and my mind was blown. Be careful not to project positive traits about yourself onto other people, because it can kind of give rose-colored glasses and you can lose sight of some pattern recognition of maybe otherwise red flags. So, and I tend to find and like finding the best in people. Even when I take those personality traits, that's like it's something I'm hardwired as. And I genuinely believe that's why I'm a naturally joyful person. I do keynote speaking too, and my keynote is about finding joy in chaos, and a lot of it has to do with finding joy in your interactions with strangers and daily life, all of that. But it definitely has screwed me over when it comes to dating and relationships. I will like overly project positive attributes onto other people. But all that to say, I had those few dates with this one gentleman. I liked where things were going, and then when I tell you, my gut, almost like a light switch, my intuition was like, beep, beep, like...
Throw on the brakes.
Throw on the brakes, dude. And I can't explain it to the point where it was making me feel almost nauseous. And
oh my God.
I've had that feeling maybe once or twice in the past, specifically about someone who on paper and by logic, based on observation, I should have no reason to be having any cautionary feelings about them. But I was like, I know that gut feeling and I know it's never wrong.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, when it started to go off, he just kind of out of nowhere started ghosting.
Oh my gosh. Do we know what happened?
Well, we then wound up having one more date.
Okay.
And he even alluded to like, oh, and when we're officially dating, like he was talking, like speaking long term, and he even did that on the other dates. And then after that, just like no initiative from him. He'll randomly text or DM me like once every 5 days, and I keep meaning to be like, do you want to talk? Like, we should probably take 5 to like cordially wrap this up. Like, what is this?
Did anything happen?
We're kind of still in this weird limbo. I don't know if he knows, but he shouldn't be surprised that I went active on Hinge again and like going on I was like, I'm not going to wait around while you...
Are you the type of girl that sleeps with a guy like immediately if you're attracted to him?
No. This will maybe be a part that we cut out for my mom, but
a few moments later.
This can be where you resume taping. That'll be like bonus subscribers only.
Yeah. We're back.
And we're back. No, I mean, there's a mix of things, right? Like I grew up in a religious household, and I actually hate the R word because I think religious insinuates like uncompassionate type of folk who kind of have the blindfolders on when it comes to like, loving people like Jesus should. But my faith is very important to me. And like part of that is just, I'm by no means a saint, but it's important to me to wait in that aspect.
Yeah.
But even if I was stone cold atheist, not that there's anything wrong with that, but even if I was, I know enough about psychology that I also like waiting because evidence pretty much only supports that for longevity, the longer you wait to have sex with someone, the greater chances you have of long-term successful potential.
That makes sense.
So maybe I'm butchering that lingo a bit, but
No, it makes perfect sense.
I love psychology. I love learning about those things. I love learning about inner personal relationships. And, I was saying earlier, like I can be a bit skittish. I have found, younger Lisa who, there was like a period of my life too, by the way, where like I had to completely step away from my faith. And that's when I was probably more physical than I've ever been, or like kind of threw some of that stuff out the window. And even in that phase of my life, I learned that if I was intimate with someone too soon, it was like a light switch. Like all of a sudden I wasn't interested in them anymore. And that scared me, and it made me feel like a real jerk.
Yeah.
But it scared me that it wasn't like a conscious decision. It was almost as if on subconscious level, that chase, that thrill was over. And I can now look back on it with wiser eyes and be like, oh, and I don't know if it's the ADHD, but I think it has to do with dopamine addiction.
Yes. Instant gratification.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if I got the prize too soon, it's a weird way of phrasing it, but yeah,
You're over it.
you're over it.
Yeah.
And that really scared me. And it's why, as hard and weird as this may sound, it's why I've been able to give grace to people who've done the same to me. Because it would be hypocritical for me to not empathize and be able to. And also, I see a no or rejection as like a redirection from God too. Even now with some dates I've had, there was one guy we were talking for like a week, super excited for our first date. Day before, he confirmed how excited he is. He was really complimentary. Day of the date, I go to send him like hey, excited to see you in a few hours. I'll send you a message when I'm on my way.
Yeah.
Couldn't find the thread in Hinge. He had unmatched
No.
out of nowhere.
What?
And bizarrely enough, the one guy I had actually we had actually messaged a little bit about our faith in advance. No other guy has ever done that. And when I went online, I sound like a boomer. When I went on the internet,
The interwebs.
I found out it is sadly not uncommon. One might say kind of common for people to just unmatch the day of.
I wouldn't think of that. Like, unless you were like scared or like something set them off in a message or something like that. All of a sudden just be like, gone, bye.
Yeah.
Don't want to hear from you.
I mean, it's also probably on me that I'm a week away from my 33rd birthday and this guy was 25. So there's probably a little bit of a maturity gap.
Yeah, it might be. It's okay.
The only reason...
Those young guys, though,
Well, the only reason I have my age range that low is because when I had it set to like 28 to 38, it was only giving me like the 37 to 38-year-olds. And those guys just like the ones I was getting just seemed old.
Yeah.
Like...
And it's funny when they're that old and then you look at what they're looking for and they go, nothing serious.
Yeah.
And you're like, honey,
honey,
we're almost 40. What are we looking for?
Right.
Are we looking at all, really? I think you're just looking to hook up and then leave.
Yeah.
If that's what you're into, okay, but like, don't be on Hinge.
I think I have, I'm paying for whatever tier that allows me to filter out people who don't have that they're looking for like long-term or life. Like I only have it set to long-term and life or whatever. Even I don't have life partner on though, because it just feels so serious.
It's very serious.
So I just have like long-term relationship, but
not life partner.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, hit the brakes, pump the brakes.
I don't
know about that.
Like to some degree, I respect them like knowing what they want, but I don't know why. I just feel so like serious when I see that.
So what are you looking for? What's your dream man?
Oh man. Oh wait, can I finish the young guy?
Yes, go back to the young guy, yes.
Okay. So I adjusted the age range to like overcompensate. It was like skewing so many older guys. So I was like, oh, I'll just lower the age range so it gives me some like more like people 30, 31, 32.
Yeah.
Nope, just started only giving me 25 and 26-year-olds. And here's the most bizarre part, Morgan. I would say, I'm not exaggerating, I started getting 10 times more likes and engagement.
Wow.
And then I think that algorithm was like, the young guys like this one. And
they're also on their phones way more. Like that generation is like on their phones. Also the Gen Zers, they're just like, yeah, let's go.
Oh my God.
And I'm like right on the cusp. I could technically be a Gen Z and I could technically be a millennial. Like I'm like,
Oh.
95 is like that weird, like,
Oh.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? When you said Gen Z, I was like, oh my God, I have been dating a different generation.
I know. When it came out of my mouth, I'm like, ooh, that kind of sounds bad.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Well, so that's what happened. And I will say, too, another big difference was older guys. The pattern I noticed is they didn't really know how to banter or be playful. And like, so my number one trait I'm looking for in a man is playful. Like,
You want a goofy guy?
I want someone that we can be in a cardboard box and having the same amount of fun than if we're in Tahiti or an amusement park or wherever. Like someone who just our silliness can just vibe off of each other no matter where we are.
I love that.
And yeah, and there's just something about when someone, I don't know, they don't. It's sad because you're like, well, maybe in another scenario we'd meet in real life and hit it off. But if you can't get across your, I guess playfulness is the word I keep going back to over a message, then like, meh. And so a lot of these young guys just like were playing into that really well, where I was like, oh, this is nice. This is fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, just what happened was usually with Hinge in years past, if I've ever been on it, because this is my first time being on Hinge in a few years, I think, because with my nomad travels, I wasn't really in a place to be long-term dating.
Yeah.
And in Portugal and Spain, anywhere in Europe, dude, you do not need an app. You just meet people left and right.
Did you have a favorite guy you met when you were traveling?
Yes.
Yes. Oh my gosh, tell me about him.
Well,
or if you can, or if you can't.
well, there is one I went back to Spain for. Oh my God. He invited me back.
That's so romantic.
To stay with him.
Oh my God.
We met when I wasn't trying to meet, and that's always that happened.
Yeah. Those words were coming out of my mouth. Yeah, it's when you're not looking and when they find you. Yeah.
Bingo. And I was like annoyed because I was like, I'm here for barely a month in Barcelona. I want
to be my hot girl self by myself.
Right. Yeah. But he was my neighbor. He lived across the hall.
Ooh.
And
this is the TV show right here.
Oh, facts. And so I was actually crushing on his neighbor or his roommate who I had just met. And so I was like talking to that guy, and then the elevator comes up and this tall drink of water walks out, 6'6", and but I didn't give a rat's butt about him. I was like, I'm talking to Gustav, you know?
Yeah.
That's actually his name. I should change his. You can bleep that. It's just like, have you ever met a hot Gustav? Anyways, I was talking to Gustav, and I was like, oh, he's so cute. And then I don't know if I should use real names, but
I can bleep them. Go for it.
Well,
oh
yeah. So he walks out of the elevator, but again, I don't care about him. But then when it came time to like part ways, be like, I'm gonna go inside now.
Yeah.
I was like, well, that would be rude to not get info as well. So I asked them both.
Yeah.
And Gustav followed me on Instagram, and then like 3 days later unfollowed me, and I was like, oh, guess he wasn't into me. And then we were talking, and I just thought he was being a friendly neighbor.
Yeah.
And
he's getting real friendly.
Turns out he wanted to be more than friends.
Yeah.
And so we had some dates.
Nice.
And he brought me to the airport. And for like all 100 yards that I was going through security, every like 20 feet, I would wave or whatever the European metric would be. Yeah, I would just wave and until he was this tiny little speck. And I just remember being like, I feel like that closure isn't there about could this be something for real. And part of the reason I was in Barcelona for a month was to see, would I want to move there someday or temporarily, but just for longer, like a year or something. Yeah. So I went back to northern Spain where he had to leave Barcelona too. Mm-hmm. So I met him and stayed with him in northern Spain. And listen, there's definitely a beautiful friendship that's there.
Yeah.
But a woman's intuition is never wrong. I had an intuitive feeling pretty early on of like, okay, this is not meant to be, but you're going to have a good time here. And yeah, he was so thoughtful and intentional with our itinerary. We were both still working the whole time. That part was hard.
Okay.
So we really had to maximize the weekends. And then I was pretty much working 4 p.m. to like 2 a.m. With like a long dinner break in there. And so we would use the daytime, but he was working in the daytime. So I was kind of exploring on my own, or we would just find a pocket like after like I said, dinner.
Yeah.
So, and we were moving quite a bit. Like we visited a lot of different towns. And yeah, we kind of went all over in Galicia is the region. And we went to like Santiago. Oh, he treated me to this little book, The Roads to Santiago in Spain.
Oh my gosh.
Or Camino de Santiago. And so there's a ton of different ways you can get to Santiago through like these trails. And I believe it's from back in the day there's the three, the 3 holy cities in the world.
Yeah, I think I'm looking at it.
Yeah, it's Santiago, Rome, and oh Jesus, why am I blanking on the last one? Why am I blanking?
Okay, I found this on the web for what are the 3 holy cities in the world.
No. Oh, Jerusalem. Duh.
Oh. Jerusalem.
That checks out.
Nice.
What if you just don't edit all that dead air out? It's just Jerusalem, Rome, and Santiago are the 3 like holy cities in Christianity.
Okay.
So it was wild. Like we just skipped the walk and just drove there. And then it made sense once I knew all the history. I was like, oh, that's why everyone's hugging and celebrating and they all have walking sticks and look like they haven't slept in days. It's because
They were literally walking.
yeah, the pilgrimage.
Jesus.
Yeah. So that was really neat. And so then we got to go into why am I blanking on all the terms? Not just the church, it's the fancier version of the church.
The Vatican.
Good guess.
Okay.
We're going to move past that. So we walked into where St. James is buried.
Yeah.
The cathedral.
Nice. Bingo.
Bingo. Yeah. Some Christian I am. Yeah. So that was, it was really divine and lovely and special. But yeah, so we went all over and then I came back and I just kind of knew. So I started kind of like dating again right away.
Yeah.
And then I realized that he still was thinking that we would do this long term. So I've had to kind of like break that down for him. Yeah.
And was he the same age as you, or was he younger?
Just 2 years older.
Okay.
But
Older's good.
Yeah. But he definitely like felt older. I don't know what that says about what I think about myself, but like someone who's only 2 years older than me, I'm like, oh, I feel so old.
Yeah.
But I do think that's because there's something to be said about people in their mid 30s. They kind of let the childlike wonder of themselves just get beat right out of them.
Yeah.
They kind of lose that. And I think that's why, it's not always like one for one, like the younger you are, the more joyful or childlike you are. And I mean childlike in like a beautiful way of like how you see the world with wonder and awe. But that's just the pattern I've noticed. And so I think that's why I've tended to date younger men pretty consistently. So, 25 is awfully young. Like that's the youngest. And then, like I said, he unmatched the day of the date. So I was like, all right. And
Rude.
And now when I turn 33 in a week, I will be upping that number. But yeah, I've had a few dates lined up with guys anywhere from 26 to, 34 has been that sweet spot. But I'm all for, as long as we align on our goals and values, and I feel like there's that kind of energy match and zest for life, that's a great starting point. And then the rest can kind of fall into place.
Yeah.
So
for your birthday, you got any plans?
You know what's funny? My mom won't be in town, and she's usually who I spend my actual birthday with.
Oh, okay.
We celebrated early because she's in Mexico, and
Good. It's like -10 here right now.
My dad hasn't offered, so we'll see. So for now, I planned a lunch date with a few friends, and then a dinner date with another friend, and maybe we'll just keep that one-on-one, or I'll invite some people. But last year, I had like a big fancy dinner.
Yeah.
Because oddly enough, despite performing and public speaking for hundreds of people at a time, I actually don't like attention when it comes to like it is my birthday, celebrate me. That makes me wildly uncomfortable.
What's your sign?
Aquarius.
Ah.
What's the ah? What's the ah?
Aquarius, you're a water sign. You just go with the flow.
Yeah.
You'd rather not, be center stage.
Yeah.
I'm a Leo.
Wait, aren't Leos in Aquarius? We're known for getting along really well.
Really well. Like I should be with like a water sign.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm a spicy lady. So
yeah, I've heard that I should date a Leo. It's so funny. I waffle between astrology is total utter bullshit and then being like, yes, I should find a Leo, because I can look back and the patterns are consistent with how it speaks to compatibility. And so I'm like, well, maybe it's not 100% full of it,
Yeah, so you'd rather just not have the attention on your birthday. I mean, it's your birthday, but you'd rather not be put center stage.
Yeah, you know what I think it is actually is I don't like commanding the attention. I would be more okay with it if someone organized it without me having to ask.
Yeah.
But like, I can't remember the last time I had a significant other around my birthday.
Yeah.
And I have amazing friends, but I've kind of done this to myself where I tend to keep people at just enough of an arm's length distance that it also withholds some of the things I fantasize about, which would be, gosh, wouldn't that be fun to have a surprise party? But like, I don't think that'll ever happen because I don't allow myself to like almost get so close to some people that would be at that close proximity to do that for you. Does that make any sense?
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I crave someone to throw me a party like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's never happened. Maybe it will. But yeah.
Maybe it will after.
Yeah.
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 No. And as we're talking, I'm like, maybe that is a little fantasy everyone has, is having that, because I do feel like it's this bizarre ultimate sign of being cared for.
It's feel like being felt like you're seen. You're like, these people really think about me and care about me even when I'm not there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just saw a TikTok recently of a gal who, it was like a get ready with me for what I think is my surprise party. And she was right.
Imagine if she was wrong.
I know, exactly. But part of me was like, you know what? Hell yeah, girl. Like, communicate your needs and you shall receive.
Yeah.
I had a friend who, I always think back on this. It really speaks to me. For her 25th birthday, she was like, yeah, I wanted so badly for someone to throw me a surprise birthday party. And then I realized I didn't want to assume someone would do that, or worse, then be disappointed or put that expectation on my friend. So I'm going to throw myself the biggest, baddest 25th birthday party. And it was in the summer. And when I tell you that party was straight out of a Pinterest board, it was gorgeous. It was phenomenal. She went and she got crates that I don't remember where she found them, but she had all these crates to make like a 60-foot long table that you could kneel at, and then had all the most beautiful, gorgeous decor, and had like a fancy dessert tray and fountain and the whole shebang.
Wow.
Didn't hurt that her parents had a beautiful home to host it at, and it was like on the water. But I remember being very impressed and inspired about like, no more pity parties for myself.
Yeah, make it happen.
I can make it happen by either for myself or by communicating my needs. And last year, I think I communicated how much it would mean to have a nice dinner with a great group of friends. And I don't know, my birthday time frame has always proved really difficult because it's always right around the Super Bowl and Valentine's Day and 4 loved ones' birthdays.
Yeah.
And so
It's packed.
yeah, it just kind of gets lost in the shuffle. And so last year I really was intentional about carving out that, Saturday for friends to celebrate me.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. And I think it was the best birthday I've ever had.
That's awesome.
It's really, really awesome. It was at Restoration Hardware, the fancy restaurant in Edina.
Yes, that
Warehouse.
incredibly big building, like at the corner of the mall. Like it's not in the mall, but it's like in the parking lot of that mall.
Yep.
I remember driving past that building for the first time. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, Restoration Hardware. Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like there'd be hammers and nails everywhere, but instead there's chandeliers. Yeah. Food was great. Vibes were, we had a great seating spot. Like, yeah, it was best birthday. So I'm also more okay if this year's a little more chill. I actually have a guy who our schedules don't really align for 2 weeks unless we get together the evening of my birthday. So it's like, I might have a first date on my birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
That'd be amazing if like things work out from there.
Yeah.
You'd be like, wow, what a birthday present that was.
Right?
Yeah.
We were supposed to have a first date tomorrow, but he's really sick. And then again, I'm just like so busy that
Yeah.
and he is too, that that's like the only thing that works in the next 10 days. And I don't want to like keep belaboring meeting because I've also been burned from talking to someone too long over messaging.
And not meeting up.
It like conflates the idea of them too much. You almost start imagining someone who doesn't exist.
Yes. Like how you would talk to people like online. Like when you were you into Omegle?
No.
Thank
What is
God.
that again? Is that the one where you talk to strangers?
Yeah.
Do you have any stories from that?
Oh my God. We'll get there. But
I will get there. Yeah.
yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about, where it's like you're talking to someone and it's like, well, I'm never gonna meet him, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, or rather, oh wow, he's so amazing. I'm gonna meet my future husband. You
Yeah.
like put these unfair because our brains. Again, I love psychology. Like our brains, for like safety purposes, fill in the gaps with past observations and or desires and wishes, and so you start to piece together a person based off what you do know of them and then what you don't know. So if you talk for too long before that first date and you meet them and they look a little different than their photos, or they talk different than how you imagined, or there just isn't that in-person chemistry.
Yeah.
I had that happen one time. It was in COVID. This guy, this was a bit far, but he was like already calling me babe. That was a little
Ew.
But when we met, Morgan, I'm still kind of scarred from this. Like from the moment he laid eyes on me, I could tell he wasn't into me.
Oh.
And
Yeah, I would also be scarred from that.
yes. And I had to take a hard look. I was like, I don't think I catfished.
No.
I think my photos represent who I am.
You're a damn babe.
Thanks, Morgan.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Oh my
it.
God.
Appreciate it. But yeah, he was not into me. And he wouldn't take off his sunglasses. He wouldn't look me in the eye. Like it was really bad.
Ugh.
And he left
Hit him with your car.
That just solves everything.
Yeah.
Right. God, why did I think of that?
I know.
I think at the time I might have been rocking my minivan. This was about
That would have been iconic to hit him with
Yeah.
a minivan.
I did have a guy actually one time, when I was 22 and still rocking the minivan. He wanted to walk me to my car after dinner, and we get to my rusty, old, shanky 2000 Dodge Caravan with the hubcaps missing. And I go, well, this is me. And I distinctly remember him going, no, really, where'd you park?
Oh God.
And then he realized I wasn't joking, and his smile just slowly faded. And I never heard from him again after that.
Because of your car?
Because of my minivan.
Hit him with your car.
Dude, that minivan was baller. It never died. I was gonna
Minivans go forever.
they go forever. We donated it to the I'm blanking on it.
College?
No, it's at the tip of my tongue. It's a program that I want to say takes folks who have been incarcerated and gives them like a technical skill after getting
Oh,
out.
yes. I know what you're talking about, but don't know the name of it.
Yeah, so we donated to that. It's kind of funny though because like it was this janky minivan, but I know people donate really nice vehicles. Oh, because the recipients are single mothers. So I felt bad. I was like, some single mom's gonna get my like on its last limbs minivan instead of like the nice
That's okay.
Rolls Royce. Someone just not Rolls Royce, but like
Jesus.
like a new Civic, and they're
Yeah.
gonna get my 2001 maybe it was, Dodge Caravan. But I like to think she has a good home now.
Yeah, I bet she does.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah, but any man who doesn't want to talk to you because of your minivan.
Lame. I was gonna diss his receding hairline, but that's not nice.
I think we just did anyway.
Here's the thing. I don't like making fun of people for things they can't control. I think that's really cruel. And because I was bullied my whole life for my nose. And then I got a nose job. But so that took care of that. But but I know what it's like to be, if it wasn't my nose, it was my ears. Because they were always this size. I had to grow into them. Yeah.
What's wrong with your ears?
I imagine my face being half this size and them still being this big.
Oh, okay.
And then I got made fun of my bottom lip up until 6th grade when boys started going through puberty and started having different feelings about a big lip.
Yeah.
But I was made fun of that pretty bad. And I walked really, so not pigeon-toed, but I walked and still kind of do with my feet really outward.
Yeah.
And I was born, so me and my middle brother, we got this from my mom. My big brother didn't get this. We were born with like these white patches all over our hips.
Okay.
Like discoloration of the skin. And then by our teens, it disappeared. But I got severely made fun of, you better believe, at like pool parties, the beach. People call me like a freak.
That's ridiculous.
Like, what what the hell? Be better. Your parents should be better. I don't know. So yeah, it doesn't. The list goes on, but I'm sensitive to that, and I think it changed for me when I dated a guy in college. He was a really good friend, turned, more than friend. We did long distance, and we joked a lot.
Hello.
Hold.
Come in.
The roommate showering. He got made fun of a lot for looking like a 40-year-old because of his receding hairline. And I remember one day making the same joke with his friends, and I still have his face like in my memory of like, I remember visibly being able to see how much that hurt him. And I never made that joke again, and I've never made a joke about a man's looks again. Or I know it's tempting to be like, I have met some a-holes who have tiny and I still don't hold that over their head because
You can't. It's too small.
but I still don't do it because I don't, regardless of who the human is or what they may have done to warrant ridicule.
Yeah.
I don't like making fun of people for things they can't control.
I think that's great.
And that's my PSA. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
I love being here.
Thank you. I've just been blabbing this whole time.
No, I love it. This is what this is for.
Oh, thank God.
I know.
We should probably do a quick time check just because
check.
I have salsa class.
6:07.
Oh, shit. Oh.
Oh. Is it done? Do we have to be done?
We have to be done. Morgan, should we do a part 2?
I think we should do a part 2.
Straight up.
Okay, let's end it by what is something, you can wrap this in like how fast you want to. What's something that's happening in your life soon that you're excited about? Like, what are you looking forward to?
I almost feel like I'm having an identity crisis because the answer is usually some big travel trip.
Yeah.
But now with going fully freelance and having limited income, that's not on the horizon. I was going to go back to LA.
Yeah.
I was going to go back to Europe.
Yeah.
Canceled all those things. So what's one thing I'm looking forward to? I would say
Or passionate about doing.
passionate about would be discovering new levels of creativity within myself, pushing my boundaries, and being okay with never being too old or far along to try new things and ask for help and share my creativity with the world.
I love that.
Thanks,
God.
friend. What about you? Can I ask you? What's one thing you're looking forward to or passionate about for this year?
Honestly, doing this podcast. This is the first episode, and wow, I feel invigorated. It feels like I did a shot of something. This is so fun.
This was.
Oh my gosh. I like want to do so much more of these. I think we should, honestly, I know it's my first one, but I feel like we have incredible chemistry to do this.
I agree.
I feel like we should schedule these
Yes.
as much as possible.
Yes. If the viewers liked this,
Even if the viewers
give
don't.
them what they
Even if the viewers don't. I like doing this, so I'm going to do it.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Can I give you an on-camera hug?
Yes. Oh my God.
Thanks for having us.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for doing this with me. She was the first person that said yes.
Well, I was just like, hell. Oh.
And we're done.
Salsa
time. Salsa time.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Final farewell. Farewell.
Farewell. Until next time. Thank you for watching or listening, whatever you're doing.
Toodaloo.
Toodles. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Wow. That flew by.
That's how you know it was good.
Holy
That's how you know it was good.
That's me. That's right. That's me. That's right.